Okay, let's examine what happens when we don't fill up an array or a matrix that's of an object type. Like here I have an array of type student, and it's size 3. So it has positions 0, 1, and 2. I'll put a student in there in position 0, and I'll put a student in there in position 1. And I can display, because the student class has a toString method, period 3 of position 0, and I can display period 3 of position 1. And I'll see just what I expect: Brent 12 and 82.3, and Evelyn 11 and 92.2. No surprise at all good. But there's nothing in the far right position, is there? Position 2 has nothing. So what if I display what's in there? Period 3 of position 2. Now, if it were an int array or an int matrix, and I tried to display that position, we'd see a 0. If it were a double array, and I didn't initialize that position, I'd see 0.0. If it was a Boolean array, and I did not initialize that position, we'd see false, where false is the default value for Booleans. But when it's an object, it's different. Let's see what we see. It does compile. It lets us access this uninitialized position 2. And when I run it, it says the word null. N-U-L-L. Okay, null means nothing, right? Null means void of any value. There's nothing there. There is not a student there. And that can be problematic. If you forget to check for null values, you might try and use, in our example today, student methods on null values. Like if I went period 3 of position 2 dot get name, right? If you go too fast, you might do this. There is a get name method in the student class. I can use that on the other 2 positions. Position 0 and position 1. But we got to see what happens if we try and use that on a null position. Compile it, run it, and Blue Jay is mad at us. We've got what's called a null pointer exception. Okay, exceptions are errors we get at runtime. Compile time errors, we just call them errors. But errors we get at runtime, we call them exceptions. And one of these exceptions we get throughout the year, starting a lot now, is a null pointer exception. You can't access student methods without a student object completely filled in that array, in that position. Okay, so we have to guard against using null values to access methods. Okay, that'll be an important part of our next couple of methods.